This is a call to order of the regular meeting, March 1st, 2023 of the Ducktown Council. At this time, I'd like to make a motion for the council that, in fact, we're going to add a closed session to tonight's agenda. Is there any discussion on my motion? There being none, please, all in favor, please say aye. 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 The closed session will be added at the end of the agenda. Also tonight, representing the town as their town attorney tonight is Lauren Womble. She was here in the first meeting in February, and tonight she is sitting in for our attorney, Robert Hobbs. So welcome, Lauren. Thank you. At this time, I see we have just a few guests out here with uniforms on. I would like to ask Chief Donna Black and all the firefighters, current and present, kind of stand and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. We're now going to go to public comments. If you'd like to make a comment to the council this evening, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address, and your comments will be limited to 3 minutes.
Thank you, I'm Ron Blunt. I live at 1356 Duck Road, Carolina Dunes, which is north of the fire station, about a mile. I'm also the Association, Carolina Dunes Association president, 220-some homes, so I'm here representing them. I'm also the Duck HOA Forum founder, but I'm not here really on that behalf. You have an agenda item tonight, in new business, I think, to talk about the town purchase of 145 Bufflehead, which is an oceanfront property in Carolina Dunes, my community. And we learned about this after the contract had been signed, which was a surprise, and we had some concerns over that. I did send a document to all of you with those concerns. Tonight I can only, with 3 minutes, can only kind of summarize them, so I'll do that. We understand the purpose of the purchase, the town purchase, to support beach nourishment, which generally the community supports. Also the lifeguards, which again the community supports, and then beach maintenance and cleanup after storms, and the community supports that. However, these activities do cause noise, they do cause disruption, especially the beach nourishment, and we do have big concerns over that. In my document, I spelled out all those concerns, but I'd like to hit about 5 of them here. The first one, which I mentioned, is we had no advance notice of this. And I think that's, that's not being transparent. And we really expect more of the town to be open and transparent with communities when they're impacted by an action you're taking. We found out about it after the fact, and I don't think that's good. I'd say shame on you for that. Going on to the other concerns, there are zoning restrictions in place and covenant restrictions. We're zoned residential. The covenants say residential, and we think there's probably a violation for that. We did retain an attorney, Robert Hornick, and he did serve a notice to you about the violation of the covenants by going forward with this purchase. It's not the purchase itself, but it's the usage of the property. And we believe that it is a violation of our covenant, so you'd received a notice. I assume you have that. Lauren, you're representing that you have that notice. Okay, and that's been shared with all of you, so you have copies of that, I assume. Okay. Okay, on the zoning, I know you control the zoning. So if you violate, if this action, the usage of this lot violates the zoning, you're just going to change
Sorry,
it.
Ron, your time is up.
Wow. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just briefly, so public comment is not a time for us to have question and answer, and so if you'll just give your comment, and if you run out of time, you can submit your comment to the clerk, and she can submit it to the record. Thank you, Mayor Kingston and Town Council members, for the opportunity to speak. I'm speaking on the same issue. My name is Carolyn Adams. I live at 126 Pintail Drive. My husband and I are what we like to call second-generation permanent residents, as my parents were also permanent residents. In fact, my father was very involved in the town during its incorporation and was an integral part of the planning board when the boardwalk was first envisioned. I share this so you can gain an understanding as to how important and loved the town of Duck and Carolina Dunes is to me and my family. I first want to respectfully, as I can, chastise the council members for not fulfilling a promise repeated multiple times during the election campaigns. There was and continues to be a failure to communicate. While I understand the perceived need for secrecy while securing a contract to purchase the property, the secrecy continues. The only way I learned of the town's interest was by way of an email from the HOA president. Please know the HOA is voluntary, and there are many property owners who do not participate and to this day likely do not know of the town's intentions. Secondly, your promise of fiduciary responsibility is on shaky ground. Proceeding with this project will result in great cost, not just the $1.6 million purchase, consequent maintenance, but also for expected legal repercussions. 3 minutes is not enough time to cover this, but you and I both know that case law is only as good as the next case. Anyone can sue for any reason, anyone can win for any reason. Just ask McDonald's about their hot coffee cases. As good stewards, I'm sure you have each visited the property and understand the community of Carolina Dunes. It is a community with larger than average lots. We have full-time residents, part-time non-renting residents, and of course rentals. Traffic is minimal compared to more densely populated neighborhoods. Town acquisition of this lot, regardless of intentions, will result in increased traffic and change of ambiance. It is reasonable to anticipate considerable disruption to the neighborhood. Residents and visitors as activists see an opportunity. Have no doubt there are many implications and repercussions for years to come. And then finally, to all of the town of Duck property owners, this is a slippery slope. Our neighborhood has been blindsided, and there's been little communication, no collaboration, and minimal planning. This is a dangerous scenario for our charming little town. Big government is flexing its muscles. Together, we must stop this behavior and proceed as a town we were meant to be, as stated in one of our 6 unifying principles, a place where people feel connected by a shared motivation to preserve the unique nature of this special place. It is my request that the council slow this very fast-moving train
Thank you,
on
Carol.
this
Your 3
slippery
minutes
slope.
is up.
Jeffrey Bollier, 105 Skimmer Way, and good afternoon to our town manager and to our council. I also am going to be speaking on the subject that matter. I live in Skimmer Way, and I don't have exactly the same concerns as Carolina Dunes. But I did realize that this is under contract, and I also was surprised that that went so fast. But noted on the agenda tonight, you're going to talk about how you're going to be able to control this property so that it is for governmental, beach nourishment, and public safety. So I'm hoping to hear some real solid communication tonight from you folks on how you're going to do that. And to our council, I hope that we're not creating something that in the future we're going to have to revisit. And with that, I thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Would anyone else like to address the council? There being no one, we're going to close public comments. We're going to go to item number 3, the consent agenda. This evening on the consent agenda, we have the minutes from the February 1st, 2023 regular meeting. Resolution 23-02, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Duck, North Carolina, amending Resolution 11-05 to allow up to 8 individuals to serve on the Wall Décor Subcommittee. Resolution 23-03, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Duck, North Carolina, requesting that NCGA to revise and expand the Good Samaritan Law GS 90-96.2 and the Government Education Access Channel 2023-2024 proposed budget. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Any discussion on the motion on the floor?
I'd just like to add that I'm not sure, Tony, if you had anything to do with that budget for the Government Access Channel, but
Oh.
it's really well done.
They did a nice job.
The way they broke out all the different categories, so I just want to commend your committee on that. It was really clear. Anybody reading that would really understand it.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to them. They did a great job.
All in favor of the motion on the floor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda passes 4-0. Thank you. Tonight we're going to item number 4. We have 2 special presentations. The first one has been given by Dare County Vice Chairman Wally Overman and Dare County Veteran Service Officer Patty O'Sullivan. They're going to talk about presentation on the wall that heals. Wally, welcome to the Duck. Patty, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Thank you for allowing us here today to introduce you to the wall that heals. As you will see, this is an exceptional presentation of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. that will be shown at the Soundside event site in November of this year. We wanted to introduce this to you today and wanted you to be familiar with it if you weren't already. Hopefully, upon seeing this presentation tonight, the town of Duck will choose to support this event wholeheartedly. The Wall That Heals is being brought here through the efforts of the Dare County Veterans Advisory Council. And first slide, thank you. This slide will tell you a little bit about the council. I won't read that to you, let you read that. But basically, the council is looking after any and all veterans who need help in Dare County and reach out to them. They do an outstanding job. We're going to show you a short video that will show you how the Wall That Heal event works. And after the video, Ms. Patty O'Sullivan, who is our Veteran Services Officer, will talk about the event in a little more detail, and then we will answer any questions you may have. Thank you again for your time and interest. And let me mention that we also have from the council tonight, Mr. Rick Probst and Mr. Tony Imperiali, who are here, that are members of the Veterans Advisory Council. So here's the video.
Replica of the wall that travels to communities around the country that we call the Wall That Heals. This mobile replica really is about taking the names home to communities large and small to allow people to have that same kind of healing experience, to come and show their respect, to remember those 58,000 whose names are on the wall, as well as the 2.7 million Vietnam veterans who served who returned home. It's a chance to look back and pay their respects to those who answered the call of service to their country, especially those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
This is the 50th anniversary of the end. 73, right?
You may not even know anything about the wall or the war, especially for the young kids. They come out and see these things, they get educated on it. People need to know what these 58,000 plus gave their lives for, whether they want to hear about it or not, they need to know.
The experience at the Wall That Heals is as you go from one end in toward the center, the wall actually rises up above you so that it's taller than you are, which is one of the key design aspects of the wall in Washington. As you go down one of the walkways, the wall actually rises above you. And I think that has a psychological impact there is something important here. It is so large that it creates an emotion of power, and you understand you're supposed to stop. You're supposed to think about it. And in this case, you can read the names, you can see your reflection in the wall, and you have to remember why those names are inscribed. These are people who sacrificed their lives for our country.
I get this feeling in my stomach, the pride that you see. When we went into St. Denis, the kids were all on the streets with their American flags. It always chokes me up because I know what it is to serve this country. And we as Americans sometimes don't understand the cost of the war. Hate the war all you want, but don't hate the war either. I met a couple guys here this morning, and one guy, I walked up to him and he started crying already. Man, it makes me feel good. Not that he's crying, but that he's here to have bonding with someone and being able to find his buddy on the wall means so much.
Good evening, I'm Patty O'Sullivan. I'm here on behalf of the Dare County Veterans Advisory Council to let you know that out of over 100 applications, Dare County was one of 32 to be selected to host the Wall That Heals in November. The tour extends from California and goes across the country and ends in Dare County. Oh, I should, let me go back, sorry. There we go. Okay. We feel it's important to bring the Wall That Heals to Dare County since our county, as well as the surrounding counties, are home to several thousand veterans, including those that served in Vietnam. Many of these veterans are disabled due to their exposure to Agent Orange and may never be able to travel to Washington, D.C. Just like the Vietnam Veteran Memorial in Washington, D.C., there are more than 58,000 names on the Wall That Heals. The tractor trailer that carries the Wall That Heals, and once it's unloaded, turns into the Education Center. It features a timeline and artifacts from the Vietnam War. One of the features it offers is the Wall of Heroes, which were local veterans who died during the war, as well as the In Memory section, which highlights local veterans who served in Vietnam and passed away after they returned, no matter what the cause. The wall is inclusive to honor all Vietnam veterans. There is also an information education tent that will allow visitors to be able to find names of family members or friends who may have lost and shows them how to create a rubbing of their names. The wall will be here November 15th through 19th. It actually arrives on the 14th. It comes in through an escort that will come through Alligator River, go through Mans Harbor, and then Manio, and then come right into the Soundside event site. It gets set up on the 15th, and once 2 o'clock, until 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, the wall will then be open 24 hours until Sunday, the 19th. We'll need several volunteers to help set up and take down the wall, as well as staff the wall while it is here. If anyone is interested, please feel free to email me. I have cards I can leave, and I will forward the sign-up links to you. I just said about the business cards. The VVMS will also offer tours to groups interested in taking part in our tour, such as schools, community groups, and companies, etc. And this is just some more information about the wall. I'd like to thank Chris Kelly Simcoe for her considerable donation on behalf of her father, General Paul X. Kelly. If it were not for her generous grant, we would not have been able to provide the deposit to bring the wall to Dare County. We're doing these presentations in hopes to get support from local towns to make this event happen. Most of the veterans I help are Vietnam veterans, and they remember what it was like when they came home. I remember what it was like when my brother came home. We're hoping to honor these veterans and give them the respect that they deserve by bringing the wall here. Thank you.
We will be presenting this presentation to all the towns, to the Dare County Board of Commissioners, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Dare County Board of Realtors very shortly. We've done a number of the towns already, and that's going to just move ahead over the next few weeks. I think the presentation that we do at the Board of Commissioners will be the final one that we do to get everybody aware of this coming. Kill Devil Hills has pledged a donation, as well as the Dare County Board of Commissioners has as well. Dare County, as Patty pointed out, will be the final stop on the tour this year. As she said, it begins in California, works its way across the country, and we want to make the final show, if you will. We want to make it very, very special for them. The escort is going to start actually in Plymouth and come all the way down, and we think there are going to be as many as 150 to 200 motorcycles that will be part of this escort, as well as about 50 Jeeps from the Jeep folks here that will be making up this escort to the Soundside event site. I want to mention that donations, we're taking donations from individuals, from whomever, but all of those donations that we get will help to bring the wall that heals to Dare County, as well as support Dare County veterans through the Veterans Advisory Council. Does anyone have any questions?
Wally, what type of support would you like to see from the town of Duck? Social media support?
Just getting the word out would be great. We just, like I said, we're just trying to kind of get the word out early. One of our challenges, and this is something that's we've been having kind of meetings, committee meetings, you might say. And one of the things that has concerned me is November's a long ways off. we got a summer to go through, and we want to keep the interest up, and we're going to be looking at ways to do that. And if you all can be helpful in keeping that word out, we would very, very much appreciate that.
Wally, where will this wall be set up?
It will be at the event site in Nags Head.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Where to have the seafood festival
Yep.
and those types of things.
Yes. And where could someone send a donation if they wanted to? Where would they send it to?
The Dare County Dare County Motorsports Charity Group is actually our 501c that's collecting donations.
Okay, is that online somewhere people can see that?
Yeah, it is. I don't bring their. I can get the address and write it
Okay.
down on one of my cards if you'd like.
Okay, great. Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah.
Okay, great.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
I assume, Patty, you'll be our contact for our PIO?
Yeah, I do your contact.
Yeah. And,
things veteran.
and there will be things that we're doing to update it through Dare County's site. We have we'll be including things on that as well. But
Dare County's has its own website being set up. It's actually with the VVMF now, waiting for approval. So hopefully, I'm hoping any day that we can get the press release and the website all set up.
And that has, Patty also mentioned that this is operated 24 hours a day and is operated by volunteers. And she has a form that folks can sign in for the time that they want to be there and for the amount of time that they want to be there, from helping put the wall up to manning it throughout the evening, that sort of thing. A lot of the veterans, from what we've heard, prefer to come at night.
To reflect on it.
Yeah.
That it's emotional and brings back memories, so that's why they have it open 24 hours.
I'll just have to say thank you for all you've done to bring this to our area. It's such an honor, and it'll be great to pay tribute to our veterans this way, right around Veterans Weekend. I mean, it's great, and I know we'll definitely work to get all the word out and the enthusiasm. I have heard from the motorcycle community, Terry Gray and others, that about this motorcade, and that's going to be quite the.
Yeah, we're setting up to also video that, and we hope to have a final video, if you will, just for Dare County, that show it from the time it leaves Plymouth until the time it's gets all the way to the event site. And Terry has worked very hard to, with the police chiefs in Plymouth and Manio and everywhere else, that they're all green lights all the way, and that's not an easy thing to get set up, but it's going to be quite something when it arrives for sure. But again, thank you all so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for allowing us to present this to you this evening.
Thank you, Wally.
Thank you, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah.
And all the accolades go to Patty. I'll tell you, she has really worked hard on this.
Exciting. Thank you so much.
The next special presentation is going to be an introduction of a new firefighter, and I'd ask Chief Donna Black to take the podium.
There's no one more nervous than Lou and I right now, the rest of you, okay. It takes a village, and this is a beach, and so we went through an assessment process, and it's very special who we're hiring, and he got here on his own. Let's talk about community. There's people in this room that taught me how to be a firefighter. So every day as I stand as chief, and I look over our firefighters now, our volunteers now, our community now, they are with me, and there's several in the back of the room, and I thank you for those that are in the room that taught me and got me to my point. So that makes it extra special tonight. When I joined, there was someone very important that was part of our fire department and one of our chiefs, and that's John Brock, who's standing behind me. Denise and John's son, Lou, is our first legacy firefighter for the Duck Fire Department, and tonight we will pin him. Community, there's all these other firefighters in the room right now. I'm glad we don't have an emergency in Duck, but if we do, now would be the time. This speaks a lot, one, to the relationship with the chiefs between Duck and Southern Shores. We work closely together. We are not one department, but we are functionally together. Every major call, you're seeing all these faces in the room here on calls together. We work together. They have a great junior program. You see a lot of youngins over there. We don't quite have the youngin population to have a junior program, but we absolutely benefit from the work they're doing. And Lou is a product of that junior program and now getting to be hired with us. Let's get to Lou. Lou did this to this room. Look how many people are here. That speaks a lot to this young man. I am excited to have him. I've told his parents, we've got him. We will take care of him. He will be trained well under our folks, and he's going to stay with Southern Shores as a volunteer. So that's why so many of us are here to not only welcome Lou, but this is his first firefighter job, and I've stood up here how many times, and this moment is very special for someone that's going to get to do their passion and get to do it as a career firefighter. This is his moment. So we're going to let his father, Chief John Brock, pin him, and then I'll let John say a few words. But first of all, can we give a round of applause to those past members in the room that... Thank you for that. I won't name everyone, but Aubrey, Larry, Mike, John, Justin's back there, Hayden, Pat, Rick, they're all back there, but they started what we're continuing, and we all take that very seriously to make sure we're continuing that legacy. But now to the first legacy firefighter, Lou Brock. So, do you see? You'll hand that. There's EMT's number. Congratulations.
Believe it or else, I can remember the first day that Chief Black came into the Duck Fire Department. And my only comment afterwards was, does she ever say anything? Anyway, I do remember that well. Chief Lindbergh, if you join us from Sun Shores, come up here. I can't tell you how much this man has meant to Lou and myself, and the way he has taken in all these junior members, it is just an amazing thing that he does. So I've written down some notes. I've written them down 2 or 3 times, so I'm going to have to read them now. I don't even know where I went with all this. But anyway, I am John Brock. I'm a former member of the Duck Volunteer Fire Department. I joined in 1989. I'm here with a number of former Duck volunteer members, and welcome all the members from the Southern Shores Fire Department that joined us tonight. Some here tonight are the original charter members dating back to when the building was first being built in 1980, and I think actually it's Aubrey and Larry mainly as the charter members here tonight for that. Denise and I are honored of being able to be here tonight to install Lou as the newest member of the Duck Fire Department. Lou, I'd like you to remember to think smart, be safe, and as you've heard me tell the very first Duck Fire Department call, don't forget the truck.
Thank you for the few extra minutes with this one. It was very important, and they're all going to clear out and go have fun now, so thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Oh, what a lot of history in this room. It's overwhelming.
You know his mother, Denise? She's the queen bee. She's the head of all the beekeepers. Yeah. She knows more about bees and black fowl and companies, and she runs right up. Yeah, there's James, did you speak to Denise? No, I just never knew. Yeah.
We're going to go on to item number 5 now, the first public hearing discussion consideration of SUP 23-001, an application by the Alice Holding LLC for a special use permit to expand the Waterfront Shops shopping center by relocating an existing kayak and stand-up paddleboard rental tour business to an existing 100-square-foot gazebo over the Currituck Sound in the Village Commercial District at 1240 Duck Road. This time I'd like to turn it over to Town Attorney Lauren Wamble.
Thank you. We will now open the quasi-judicial hearing. When considering this application for the special use permit, the Town Council sits as a quasi-judicial body. A quasi-judicial hearing is the process for the council to adjudicate how the general law applies to a particular situation based on an evidentiary record presenting at this hearing. Your 2 key responsibilities are to determine contested facts, apply legal standards to the facts. You may apply only the standards already contained in the ordinance. You are not permitted to change or modify those standards during this hearing or as part of your decision in this case. In conducting this hearing, certain safeguards must be instituted in order to give the applicant a fair hearing. The applicant has the right to cross-examine witnesses and offer rebuttal evidence. The procedure in the ordinance must be followed. I'm sure this council is very familiar. The council members may question any witnesses at any time during the hearing. Questions from the floor will not be permitted except by cross-examination from any of the sworn witnesses once recognized to speak. Regarding financial conflicts or ex parte communications and bias, a member must not vote on the application if the outcome of the matter being considered is reasonably likely to have a direct, substantial financial impact on the member. If such direct or substantial financial conflict exists, the member should disclose it and ask to be excused from consideration of that matter. Is there anyone aware of any sort of conflict, financial conflict in this matter? Okay. In regards to ex parte communications, if any of the members present have had any contact with anyone prior to this hearing in which particulars, specifics of this application were discussed, or if you received letters or email messages or phone calls from anyone concerning this matter prior to this hearing, you must disclose those communications. And again, as a reminder, your decision must be based on this application entirely based on the facts that are presented at this hearing, and disregard the particulars discussed with the applicant or the other party. Are there any ex parte communications regarding this matter that should be disclosed?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the liaison to the planning board. I was there for the planning board meeting when it was discussed.
Okay. So you were present and those minutes are in the packet?
Yes.
Okay. In regards to bias, a member must base his or her decision on the evidence presented during this hearing. Any member who has developed a predetermined opinion or bias on the outcome of this application before the hearing must not participate in the decision on this application. Is there anyone who has formed an opinion or has any bias they need to disclose at this time?
No, but that answer I gave you was incorrect. I thought these were the minutes of the last planning board meeting that we were given this evening.
Okay, but the planning board recommendation is part of the agenda packet. Is there anything outside of what happened in that public meeting that was open to the public and what is in the agenda packet that you need to disclose?
No.
Okay. Now, the standard and what kind of evidence. Your decision must be based on competent, substantial, and material evidence that is properly entered into the record of this hearing. Crucial facts used to determine the outcome of this hearing must be based on sworn statements by the witnesses during this hearing. While you may be presented before or during this hearing with copies of unsworn statements contained in letters, emails, such unsworn evidence can only be used to corroborate or supplement sworn evidence during the hearing. The best competent evidence is the sworn evidence. Unsworn evidence, such as letters and emails, can never be the sole basis of your decision. At this time, if there's any member who needs to recuse themselves for any of those reasons, I think we've covered them all and everyone's nodding, no, we're good. All right, at this time, the town clerk will swear in the applicant and all witnesses who plan to provide testimony or evidence in this case. If you think you want to comment or give comment or present evidence in this case, if you will please stand, the clerk needs to put you under oath and you must be sworn to give any sort of presentation to the board. All right, we will begin with the staff presentation.
Okay, good evening, Mayor Keeson, members of council, members of the public is attended. The mayor did a good job of describing and summarizing the application before you tonight. And I'll just start for the record by noting, as outlined in the staff report, that this hearing was properly advertised, posted on site, and notices mailed to the applicant and adjoining property owners, as well as here at Town Hall and the town website. So what we have is a fairly straightforward application where we have an existing gazebo that was constructed on site over the sound. It comes off the boardwalk at the waterfront shops. And the owner's looking at taking an existing business within the shopping center, moving it there, and then renting out that previous space to a different tenant. So in effect, they are, and you can see it highlighted in yellow, the gazebo on the site plan up there, in effect expanding the retail space of the shopping center by 100 square feet. And when you consider that the shopping center already contains over 32,000 square feet, you can see this is a fairly minimal expansion that's being proposed. The existing business already stores kayaks when they're not rented in a particular location on site. That would not change. So the only thing that's really happening is that gazebo is being used for a commercial purpose. And you can see the applicants provided a rendering of what that would look like with the new business, and that was included in your package as well. Thank you, Cindy, for your help with that. The only thing that staff really needs to look at, because there aren't any other changes, was the amount of parking on site. And with the addition of this space, there are 177 parking spaces that need to be provided, and they have 203 spaces on site. So that's in full compliance with that, and that's the only substandard change. There are 4 criteria that have to be met for the finding of a special use permit. The planning board also went through these, but one is that the use meets all conditions and specifications of the ordinance as outlined in the staff report. There are very few things that change as a result of this, and all the existing site improvements are in compliance. So it meets that standard. Second, the use does not endanger public health or safety. We would not identify any ways that this change would endanger the public in any way. Third, the use would not substantially injure the adjoining property. First of all, as we mentioned, this change is relatively minor in nature. And secondly, it's located sort of in the middle of the site, so it doesn't have much of an impact on adjoining properties visually or anything like that. And the fourth and last item is the use should be in harmony with the area in which it's located and with the town's adopted comprehensive and camera land use plan. You have, again in the staff report, more detail on how this is consistent with the land use plan. And again, as most of the surrounding area is zoned and used commercially, we saw it as being compatible with the surrounding area. So after looking at these at their meeting on February the 8th, the Duck Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval of this special use permit application. They did ask the council to consider the following conditions as part of the permit. if you choose to approve it. One, use of the gazebo is subject to the conditions of Major Permit 54-21 and the subsequent letter of refinement that was issued by the Division of Coastal Management. Secondly, any new signage would be reviewed under a separate permit. Third, any lighting of the gazebo must be low intensity, which is no more than 1 foot candle, and shielded downward to prevent spillage of light to adjoining properties and the Currituck Sound on which it sits next to. Fourth, that the permit would expire in 12 months if it's not acted upon, if the use is established. Mayor Kason, that concludes my presentation, but I'd be glad to answer any questions that the council members might have.
Does the council have any questions for staff? Okay.
Joe, I may have missed this in your presentation, but it looks as though the applicant has all the permits from the state agencies that are required.
That's correct. They have all the approvals necessary.
Are there any other questions from the council? All right. Does the applicant wish to ask staff any questions?
I'm Jim Gilreath, I represent the applicant, Alice Holden. Director Hurd, good evening.
Someone, you need to come to the podium if you would, or actually, right, there's a microphone right there, Mr. Gilreath.
You have to stay on the mic.
Joe's a Clemson guy, I'm a Gamecock. We're going to stay this far apart. Director Hurd, it's the town's recommendation that this application has met the 4 uses for the special use permit.
That's correct.
Okay, and there were no modifications needed during that process, that application process that you required, besides the